Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm happy you found us. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today is Monday, and yes, I am feeling so rejuvenated, and I feel so focused. I have a question. I'm going to name this podcast The Goal. And the first thing I want to do is ask you one question. What do most people want? And this is pretty much a general question, or in the general side of life. What do most people want in their life? And you know what? I've been thinking over the weekend. I had some ideas that I just wanted to put down. And I have to assume most people want to be healthy and reasonably prosperous, right? Well, some people might not want to be reasonably prosperous. Some people might want to be highly prosperous. It depends. I mean, that's okay too. To continue with my assumptions, I have to sort of believe that people would like to have some sense of security and have the love and admiration of their family and friends. I also have to assume that most people want hope. Hope of their current situation changing, and hope for a better life, hope for a better future, and hope for things to just generally change in their lives for the better. I must also believe that some people might want joy, happiness, to balance themselves when things go wrong, or when we actually experience deep sorrow and pain. After all, if we experience pain, we can better appreciate our joy and happiness. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, so the goal. Is that our goal, that we want to experience all these things? That's what basically most people would want. They would pretty like to be healthy somewhat and happy and have a sense of security in our lives. How do all those points in our lives, how do they intersect, or how do we get there? Are we to wait for them to happen? Or are we to sit back and wait for goodness or security and prosperity? Are we to wait for good health to come upon us? Or are we to go to work so we can make all those things in our lives happen? All right, remember, we also want to be happy, right? We want to experience that joy in our lives, right? So how could we do all of that? And that's the goal. That's why I named this podcast The Goal. I mean, that's basically what we want to experience, right? We want to be happy. We want to be somewhat successful in our lives, be prosperous. We want to be able to be healthy enough to enjoy our lives and live a little longer than most people do, right? Well, I have to say this. Are you to work real hard to make all that happen in your life? It's just a question. I've been in sales most of my life, just like you. Now, you're probably saying, I'm not in sales. If you were to talk to somebody about the price of an item or service, it may have been a fairly successful person, or whatever the case may be. But being that I was in sales most of my life, if I were to talk only of price, I probably wouldn't have been somewhat successful at selling, right? I mean, let's face it, that is a reality right there. Who cares about the price sometimes? I mean, we don't want to be paying exorbitant rates or prices for anything. I mean, that's just the way we are, right? You may be thinking about the statement I just made as well. Just like you, right? I've been a salesperson all my life, just like you. But you're probably saying, I'm not into sales. Well, come on now. You don't really believe that, do you? I know. I believe we all are like salespeople to a certain degree. And I mean that. Most of us are selling all the time. We're selling ourselves or whatever the case may be. You might not be in a position where you're selling products or anything of that nature. And I beg the difference on that as well. I think right now, people are in sales more than they actually know. And I believe that women are far better at it than some salespeople who've been in the profession for years. And it's a simple belief that I have. I think women and some men, I believe they lead with benefits, heartfelt emotion and excitement for the encore. They basically show the results. And this is why people actually buy from one another. They go off the recommendation of others and so on and so forth. You don't believe me? All right. So what does all this have to do? I'm getting there, right? So if you don't believe me, I know you all heard someone in your family talk about an amazing sale or a group they've joined or a service they received at some point in time, right? I think women are famous for this more so than men. And one of the reasons why I say that is I know you've all heard a woman in your house, how they probably pretty much show how amazing a product is or whatever the case may be. You've all heard them, right? Women have a way of showing amazing transformations with attitude, excitement, and honesty. I mean, what better thing can sell better than that? Point in case, Delilah, where on earth did you get that beautiful blouse? Honey, you wouldn't believe it. Macy's had this one-in-a-lifetime sale that will make you empty out your bank account, honey, at the register. Yes, can you believe that? We need to be excited about the benefits of our journey in our lives. And I believe the benefits of our journey in our life, whatever it produced for you or in your own life, we have to have that same enthusiasm as telling someone about a service or what we received, what was so amazing as an outfit that we put on and how amazing we look wearing that outfit. We have to have that same excitement, enthusiasm in our life. Now, too many of us focus on the obstacles in life rather than the benefits of the journey's end. The obstacles represent the point in life where we're trying to reach. And whatever do you mean by end, right? So, the journey's end, I thought a journey in life never ends until you die. Well, what I mean by journey's end is a person can get to a point in their life where they are completely, utterly satisfied with everything they've accomplished, everything they've done. And now they probably get to a point where they really just want to focus on living and experience the joy that life has to offer them in their golden years. That's what I mean by end. I don't mean death. No, I don't mean that at all. So I believe if we are to be happy, we must be happy here and now, not later. We have to pretty much be in life's journey, and we have to be happy in life's journey. Happiness is a lifelong experience with the good, the bad, and the ugly. You got to take it all, my friend. Don't be like the person who is caught up on the hamster wheel. You know the type, always moving, always revolving, but never reaching their desired destination, saying, I'll be happy when I get my first home. And then when they get their first home, they're saying, I'll be happy when I get my house paid off. Heck, that could be 20 to 30 years from now. Are you really ready to delay happiness for that long when you can have happiness right now? Well, the reason why I say that, because and like I do, happiness is just a state of mind. I mean, happiness is heavily grounded in gratitude. It means that we have to be grateful for what we have right now and knowing that we can still obtain something better if we want to. What about your health? because, we talked about all those things. Got to have a little happiness. You want to be a little healthy. All that plays a part, right? So what about your health? In the beginning, I mentioned that people like to be healthy. If you put off becoming healthier, you reside to living a shorter life. What's the goal? To live long, possibly reasonably healthy, happy, and secure with the admiration of family and friends, and what? A peace of mind, right? I mean, that's the goal, is to have a fulfilling life and enjoy the journey while we're living. I mean, if we can't enjoy and have a little happiness now, then what's the point? Because happiness is not a destination. Happiness is right here, right now, in a state of mind. And if any of this is to be a reality, we must do what we must plan. We must do what? We must create a goal. Plan for it, don't you think? In order to plan, you have to create a life goal program that will allow you to infuse and incorporate all your ideas, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Now, I know you heard me many times on my podcast talk about the change, the transformation. Well, if any of that is going to happen, you have to have an entire package, right? So what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? How are you going to have that entire package if you don't work for it? I mean, if you want love and admiration from your family and friends, well, this is not going to happen overnight. It takes time to nurture, build on those relationships, and being there when they need you the most, and them there for you when you need them the most. It's a two-way street, 50-50, my friend. And sometimes we can be an overachiever and just add a little more by giving it maybe 52-55% being there for them more than they are for us, because that's who we are. It's ingrained in our DNA to always want to do better, to always want to help. In order to have peace of mind, you have to figure out what that really means for you. What does having peace of mind look like in your life? Only then can you determine how to make that become a reality in your life. I'm telling you right now, peace of mind is also a state of mind. So you got to think on these things. And I'm going to end it pretty much here. I know your time is crucial. Your time is important. I talked about many of us that want to have hope, right? Hope for something better. You first probably want to figure out what that might mean. What does the word something mean for you? Hope for something better. So what does that something mean in your life? Hope for a better future, a more fulfilling future, a life with a purpose. It could mean anything and all those things simultaneously. There are basically just ideas that I am bringing up for you. You can basically sit down, take your time, and find out what that really means or represents for you. Last but not least, I want to talk about something else. It's just a minute of your time. Don't dwell on the bad, the misfortune, or your shortcomings, or any other obstacles that might be in your way. Don't think that you're too young or too old or it's too late or my time is past. Your time is right now. There's no time like the present. If you want to think on something, think on these final notes. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think solely on these things. And remember, faith, virtue, knowledge, temperance, patience, brotherly kindness, godliness, charity, humility, diligence. Ask and ye shall receive. Knock and it shall be open to you. Amen. I want you to know that this podcast I just created with just some thoughts that perhaps all of us in life want to experience goodness in our lives. All of us want to experience to be healthy. We want to experience the love. We want to experience some excitement. We also are going to experience when times are bad and times of sorrow. But with all of that, in the end, weeping endureth the night, joys in the morning. We can remember that. We can remember that it's not going to last. These things shall pass. If you're going through something right now that's real terrible in your life, or it's very hard, it's very difficult, just know this too shall pass. And the reason why you're probably going through all these things, which it does not make any sense right now, is because you're becoming stronger. You're being refined. You're not only getting stronger, but you're getting smarter. You're going to endure so much more. And in life, we go through tribulations and trials and everything else. But there is goodness in life as well. We must embrace the bad with the good. And don't think for a moment you're not capable of reaching your destination. Because that is not true. You are amazing, and you can do anything you put your mind to, especially if it's for good, especially if it's for the goodness of others. I know no matter what you're going through in your life, things can get better. Things will get better if you make them better. It's all about our frame of mind, what we believe. Like I said, happiness is a state of mind. We can be happy going through a trial. Why? Because we can be grateful that things are not worse than what they really are. So, my name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast, and I wish the mighty best for you. I wish that you and your family are blessed beyond imagination. Be blessed. Be happy. Be fruitful, and live your life to the fullest. That's it. That's all I got for you today. And I hope you'll be able to share this with your family and friends, co-workers, and get the word out. This is Dave with The Last Podcast. If you want to hit me up, you can do so at dave@thelastpodcast.info. You can also hit me up by texting me at 972-284-9518. Listen, we all got things to do in life. Let's make sure we do it to the fullest of our ability and to the best of our ability, with all our might, with all our heart, with all our soul. And we can't go wrong. Thanks a lot for listening. Be blessed and have a great day. Bye-bye.